Hello guys, welcome to the class number 5. Hello guys, welcome to the class number 5. Truly sorry, we are having some errors and problems with OBS, so truly sorry for that. It takes me a little bit to fix it, but now we are live.
Hello
So
guys,
welcome to the class number 5. This is almost the last class for this specific minicamp. Not for all the minicamp, just for this one. And yeah guys, let me see who is there. I see that are a lot of you coming right now. And let me switch the screen here. Let me switch to full screen so I will be able to give you the appropriate welcome. So guys, I see that there are a lot of you on here. I see that Klee is here. Welcome Klee. Welcome Sadi. Welcome Davon. Welcome Ponopu. Welcome Chindani. Welcome to the class. So guys, as always, we normally take like 15 minutes to do a playable room, but for now, as we start the class late, I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm going to start directly with the class. And for this class, guys, we are going to do some specific disasters. We already finished with most of the systems of the game. Now it's just to add some disasters on there. So we are going to start with that. Let me switch the presentation to natural disaster, okay, guys? So on the screen, as always, I'm going to do a quick introduction for those that are coming and are new in this part about the minicamp, okay, guys? So as always, just to let you know, we are going to do, or we are doing, a survival disaster game, okay? But this is most focusing to survive to some disasters, and the last one standing is the one who's going to win. We already made 4 disasters, and now we are going to start with the 5th one, okay? Just to let you know, guys, and starting the day after tomorrow, or starting tomorrow, you will be able to start submitting your maps, if you already finished your maps. But don't worry, take your time, you have until the 15th. I know in the screen you are going to see that the date is until the 16th. I didn't recommend that, I highly recommend you to submit your map one day before the deadline, because you know you can have some problems. As an example, I don't know, just the website gets down and you won't be able to upload your map on time, okay? And most of the times, if you don't upload your map on time, probably you won't be able to actually submit your map. So that's why I highly advise you to submit your map one day before. Also, by the error handling. Imagine that as an example, something that happens actually the last minicamp is that some of you submit the map in creation mode. So when I was reviewing the maps, I was telling you in the comment like, hey, I'm Jejokor from Miniworld, please try to change this. But most of you, as you submitted last time, we weren't able to do any change, okay? And the most important one, apart from that, starting 17th of August until the 20th of August, we are going to give punctuation or score to your maps. Not only me, other teachers are going to do it, and also the MiniWord team is going to complete the punctuation, and there is going to be also a public punctuation, okay? On that, we are going to select some winners, some maps that are going to get actually a pricing, okay? On the screen, you are going to see the different prices. We have the Excellent Award for $40. That is going to be for the best map, okay? It's the most enjoyable overall. Then we have the Best Learning Award. This is the student that actually implements everything that I will going to teach you into the map. So the one that implements most of the things is most of the times is going to be the winner. Then we have the Most Creative Award, which is the map that is going to innovate more. Of course, and my recommendation is implement everything that I'm going to teach you and implement new features apart from that, so you will be able to have more possibilities or more chances to win this one. And then we have the Best Progress Award, that is going to be for those that are no developers at all or developers in level 1. And with this, you are going to win actually $15. And also, if you are not developer, you are going to get a direct invitation to become one, okay guys? So let me see the message. I see. For the update, guys, you have to wait a little bit. For the computer, the update is going to come in around at max 5 days most of the times. And also, it's very important, guys, to know, right now, I'm not sure because I reviewed just last night. But right now, as far as I understand, the only ones that have the update are the players that are beta testers. So that app actually is not having the best experience because probably it's going to have some bugs because the official version has not come yet, okay? Once more, I'm just reviewed last night. Right now, it's morning for me, so I just wake up and I haven't reviewed that yet, okay? But in my computer, at least, you are going to see in the screen that I have just the old version, okay? Alright, so for the money, okay, every month I receive around in between $300 per map, and also I get another salary, so I receive like in total like $2,000 per month, okay? Alright, so let's move next, and now we are going to have the class rewards. Guys, as always, I'm going to give you the different rewards, but very important, guys. This time, just as the last class, I'm going to change the dynamics. So instead of giving you the codes at the end, every time we finish a disaster, I'm going to give you a reward. With that, I think we are going to have some more time to speak together, to talk. And yeah, it's going to be much easier for us, okay? So welcome, Mini Word Creata from Thailand. Welcome to the class. So, welcome, Madam Queen. Welcome back to the class also. All right, welcome. Yeah, I see some new students here. All right, so as always, guys, we have our Discord channel. Very important, guys. In this Discord channel, I changed the dynamics. Right now, you shouldn't be able to see the other languages. And this is very important, guys. And I'm going to show you my screen just a moment, because I think this is going to be a little bit interesting. Let me just type here Discord. All right, here. Okay, let me switch the screen also a little bit just to show you the actual my actual screen. Okay, guys. So in the Discord channel, when you access to this Discord channel, the one for this minicamp, you will have actually a specific channel in which you can select your language. With that means you are not going to see the Spanish messages, because I know that was a problem before. You are only going to see the English messages, and so that's actually very cool. So remember, the link is right here in the presentation in this channel, the one that says language idioma. It's the one that you can select your languages just by reacting right here. Okay, guys, just like a quick update about the channel. Okay, so let me switch back to the presentation once more, and now, guys, okay, so I'm going to paste also this specific link into the chat, so you will be able to access directly to the Discord channel. All right, I see, guys. So I see that some of you are not having actually the Discord. Alright, guys, so in that case you can try to contact me in-game on MiniWord. If you comment in my profile, I will be able to answer you most of the times. But I highly recommend you to get Discord. It's a very good tool to speaking and also to play, okay? Now, next, as always, guys, for this class, I highly advise you to get a computer or to have something to take notes with, okay? Because most of the things that we are going to do are very easy to do in even a computer or in a cell phone, but most of the times it's going to be easier in a computer. And now let's start with this objective setup. As always, the timeline for the week. This is the last week, guys. This is the class number 5. And we left one class more, in which actually we are going to finish the different process. Once more, we have the last week after that. That is going to be the contest week, in which actually you are going to submit your works, your artworks, your maps, and then we are going to have an awards the next week after that, okay? And for this class, we are going to do a quick recap. Actually, it's not going to take that time. Truly sorry for the time that says here. It's actually going to take just 5 minutes, okay? After that, we are going to start with the acid rain, which is actually going to be only with triggers. And then we are going to start making our earthquake. And for our earthquake, we are going to start doing advanced disasters, okay guys? So for the earthquake and the storm, we are going to start using scripts, but not just scripts, we are going to do a mix between triggers and scripts, okay? So your disaster is going to work, at least for the earthquake, just with triggers, but the scripts are going to give an extra feeling, it's going to make the camera shake and all that things. Then for the storm, we also are going to do it with the scripts, but this one is just scripts most of the times, okay? You can do also a very similar effect just with triggers, but with the scripts we are going to give like that extra look that looks like a storm or like a thunder each time that it hits the player, okay? Now, let's start with actually the recap. Important things, guys, that you need to take in account. Remember this table. In this specific table, we are going to see the number for each one of the disasters. We made the disaster 1, 2, 3, and 4. That means the meteor shower, the volcano, the fire. And as you see, the next disasters are going to be the rain, the earthquake, the thunderstorm, and that's what we are going to do for this class. Next class, we are going to do the blizzard or the tornado. We are going to decide if you want to do the blizzard or if you want to do the actual one that we create that was non-gravity, okay? So that depends of you guys. I'm going to teach you whatever of the two options, and we are going to do it live so you will be able to see how I create those disasters, okay? It's too loud, alright. Thank you for letting me know that. Let me reduce the music a little bit. Now it's better. Alright. Let me know if now it's better, the music. Okay? Yeah, what happens is that actually the English language is like most of the times it's more easy to get that you're speaking English when you use the use flag, and to be honest, I wasn't finding the Grand Britain or the England one, and yeah, as you know, like English has like different flags, so I have to use one for Spanish and one for English. All right, now let's see. That's the only two things that actually you need to remember for this class. And of course, the brain that we made the last class, that was the one that controls all the disasters, okay? All right, guys. So let's start with the acid rain, and that's the first disaster that we are going to do today, okay? So let me switch to mini-words. Just let me know if you're seeing my screen. I wanna be sure. Let me do a double check. Yes, you are able to see my screen right now. That's a good way to know. So let's move up and let's continue with the class here. I love you, Lady Gaga. So I think you're referring to Queen. I know that Queen likes to be called as Lady Gaga, so yeah, I know that you're meaning that, okay? So let's continue here. So as always, we are going to go directly and straight to our map. Okay, guys? Quick and fun fact. Guys, I have a good error. I'm just going to tell you this, like a fun fact before we start the class. Last week, I was just cleaning up my computer because it was a little bit slow. And by mistake, I see that MiniWord was two different folders. So most of the times when you have two folders, it's because as me, you have the beta or test version of MiniWord that is an actual version that doesn't come up and only some developers have access with. That is the one in which actually MiniWords do all the tests before launching like a full version, okay? So I didn't really use that. And I was thinking, okay, if I'm not using this, I'm going to delete this app. And by mistake, I delete the wrong folder because those are very similar, and I delete the actual version of MiniWord. So I lost most of my maps, but I already recovered most of them. Of course, there is some specific things that I weren't able to recover. As an example, my experimental maps, or some maps were like getting some advances that I was working on. I lose all that information, but that's a quick fun. So always, guys, before messing with your files inside the game, I highly advise you to actually do a backup just in case, okay? So end of the quick fun, let's start with the class right now. Okay, now we are going to do the next thing, okay? We are going to access here, as always, and we are going to start making some triggers. Or no, let's do this. First, let's create the basic elements. So let me show you into the presentation a couple of things about how our acid rain is going to work. I want to do this because I think with an explanation is going to be easier to understand what actually the system does, okay? So moving to the presentation, this is how the acid rain works. So remember that we create, as always, like a timer that is called this meteor or this fire or this volcano. Well, we are going to do the same thing, and as long as this timer is working, we are going to do a couple of things. First, we are going to have like the climate or the actual climate or the time or the weather. It's going to be raining, okay guys? That's something that we are going to be sure because that creates the special effect that makes the map looks like actually is acid rain. And very important guys, sometimes by mistake or by a bug, MiniWorld is not going to show you the rain. That happens a lot, okay? But don't worry, at least the players are going to hear the sound, so it's going to be much better. But the important thing, apart of the weather, is this one, okay guys? So we are going to have a small rain, just like we did for the system controllers, but we are going to have a small rain for the rain, okay? What it's going to do is going to do a loop that is going to execute every second, okay? Every second you're going to execute this over and over and over, okay? Then, what is going to do this? This is actually going to do only two different things. Remember that we create a specific system that was called a roof block, right? That it was going to tell us which block actually the player has over the head. All right, that's why we are going to use the system. What it's going to do, the system is going to execute the part A from the system, which actually is just going to add a buff. And the only thing that is going to check is if the player has a block over the head. That means that if the player with that trigger that we create doesn't have any kind of block over the head, it's not going to do anything. Because that means that, it's going to add a buff that is going to be the acid rain to the players. And if the player has any kind of buff different to air over the head, that's going to mean that the player it's in a house because it has the block over the head, okay? And it's not going to do anything. It's going to switch this to the second mode. And the second mode is that if the player has something that is covering his head, it's going to launch a projectile, okay? So let's use what I can use to give you an explanation, okay? Let's use this, okay? So if there is no block over the head of the player, it's going to just execute the buff, right? But if there is something over the head of the player, what it's going to do is launch a projectile over the head of the player that is going to destroy the block that is over the head of the player. That's why you can see that it gets like some blocks like melting or smelting and broken up in the head of the player. And that's how the system works, okay? Oh, another important thing is that for just for make the game run a little bit faster, this is not going to work over all the players on each loop. It's going to choose a random player in every buff, and then it's going to take the head of the player and it's going to create a projectile, okay? With that, you're going to reduce the lag a lot, okay? Of course, in some specific points, there is not going to be a way to avoid a little bit of lag, but with this, we are going to reduce a lot at the amount of lag, okay? That could be. All right, so let's move up to MiniWorld and let's start with the part that is the most cool. Okay, so we are going to access here that this is going to be actually, okay, give me a second here. I want to be sure that you're checking my screen right now. Yes, you're checking my screen right now. All right, so how it's going to work this, okay? So first we need to create two things. First, the status that is going to make the rain over the player, and then a projectile that actually is going to do all the other work that is going to be just to destroy the blocks, okay? So first, you're going to add a new buff, okay? You're going to hit the net, all right? You are going to have this interface. Just select the different icons that you need for that one. As always, I use this one for the acid rain that looks like something that is damaging the player. Remember, red always is damaging the player. And select some special effect and some sound for it, okay? Alright, so I already did it, so I just wanna show you the actual setup that I made for this one. So for the special effect, I use smoke number 1, that is going to be this one. That is the one that is going to show the player that is being affected by the acid rain. And for the sound, I choose behavior 28. Let me choose here again, behavior 28 is this one. Okay, probably you're not going to hear it. But yeah, just remember it's behavior 28, okay? For the effects, guys, you need to add a new effect. You're going to select this one that says keep getting injured, and you're going to get this interface. On the first one, the one that says time interval, you're going to select 0.5. And for the change in value, as we want the players to get a cover faster than the pledge, because the pledge is going to affect you even if you are covered, this one is only going to affect you if you are not covered, we are going to change 5 of life, okay? And to be sure that there is not going to have an armor reduction or something like that, choose toxic and damage, okay? And for the attribute, of course, you have to choose negative status, because most of the times you are going to have a positive one. And for the priority, you are going to select to cover, okay? That's going to be the 2 different setups that we are going to make for this one, okay? Remember, guys, first one, it's going to be just to add the toxicant, and the second one to have the negative value, okay? All right, so we already add that, imagine that we already add that specific status here. Most of the times you won't be able to see in the game unless you restart the game. So to restart the game, just hit here where it says enter game. And with that, you are going to be inside the game, okay? All right, now that you restart the game or just restart the map again, you are going to go here and you are going to create the next specific projectile, okay? So go to projectiles. Hi Kenzie, welcome. All right, and hi Daiji, welcome to the class. All right, now that you are right here, you're going to add a new projectile, okay? So hit just in the plus button, then hit a new, create, and what you're going to do with the projectile, it's very simple, guys, okay? So in my case, I have this model, but I highly recommend you to use the last one that we create, the invisible one, remember? The one that is not going to have any class of effect or yeah, actually it's not going to be showing. That's something interesting, guys, also too. I lose most of my miniatures here because I just delete all the game. But well, coming back, just select the dummy, the one that doesn't show any effect. You don't have to actually fill this, just change the name to be sure that you are going to have the right one. And then on attribute, you are going to do the next settings. First, throwable needs to be off. Projectile attack, keep it in 0 because this is not going to do any damage. For attack type, be sure that you choose single shot. For gravity, select 10, that means that it's going to increase the speed very fast. On here, select the max speed. If you already know how to edit game files, choose 2000, so it's going to be very fast. For velocity or speed attenuation, I just select 0. For hit target, select creatures and blocks, and the other things need to be completely off, okay? But the most important things are going to be here. You are going to add a new effect. You are going to select operating blocks, guys. And when you are in operator works blocks, you are going to do the next settings. You are going to select effect type, destroy, item drop, category, it's going to be all the blocks, and the range is going to be single target, so it's going to destroy only one block, okay guys? Once you finish with this, just hit save and return, and once more, to be able to see it into the game, just hit enter game, okay? As you see, it's very similar to the fire or to all the other effects that we are doing, but this time we are going to do a little bit of things different, okay? So last time for our meteor, we spawned the meteor here. For the volcano, we spawn the fire here, or from the fire we start the fire at the ground hailed, okay? For this one, what we are going to do is to detect which is going to be the highest block over the player, and we are going to create this projectile 1 or 2 blocks over that. So that means that the actual projectile is going to be created here. Also, it's going to work if you create it from here, so don't worry for that, okay? So let's move back and let's continue with the actual triggers. No, right now I were enabled, at least in my computer. On my cell phone I have the last version, and I already did some tests. I really like a couple of things. There's 2 things as always that I think it needs to be fixed, but yeah, I like the new update. And what I like it the most is because it's going to have a lot of new models that I can use to set up. And also it's going to have a couple of features new in triggers and on scripts, so that's why I love the most. Of course, I test the boss and all the other things, but to be honest, the things that I like it the most is those 2, okay? So guys, for triggers, as always, what we are going to do is the next things. First, we are going to create a new starter. As always, guys, remember that our brain is going to have new starters for every one of the different triggers. So just take the one that says fire start, copy that one and paste it, okay? And when you are going to paste that, you are going to change the name. Once again, you are going to hit rename, and you're going to change the name to Acid Rain Start, okay guys? Remember, this is going to be into the starters folder, as always, as all the other disasters. And first thing first, we are going to change the number. Remember that the number that we have here is going to be with the last one, that is 4 probably, or 3. So you are going to change the number, disasters equal to the number 5, okay? Now, you're going to scroll down, and as always, you are going to change this one, okay? So for the timer, you need to create a new timer. You are going to just hit on here, new variable, and the name of the variable is going to be this, and is going to be this acid rain, okay? So you will be able to recognize that. The countdown and everything else, you keep it like it's already placed under. That is going to be 30 seconds and false. Then you are going to change the disaster name to rain, okay? Acid rain. And as always, the other 2, that is going to be the chat message, you are going to change it for acid rain. You are going to change the separator, and the description is going to be take cover from the rain, get indoors, okay? That's the easy part on here. And of course, the other thing, you are going to keep it like it is. As you see, this part is the most simple for most of the disasters because it's just copy and paste most of the times, okay? I think the most harder was the one that was the page start. It was the most complicated until this part, okay? I see. Yes, in mine it's just like 6. I see that in your place, in most of your places, it's going to be nighttime. On mine it's just 6 a.m. in the morning. It's 6:44, so it's just like the sun just rises like 40 minutes ago. Yes, it's time to get new updates for your maps because we have a lot of content that we can add with the new updates. So I highly recommend you to take a look to the new update, guys, so you will be able to see new weapons and new things that make your map be better, okay? So another cool thing here is that we are going to start creating our disaster. So for this, as this is going to be a little simple, I highly recommend you just to copy the one that says Meteor. Meteor is the most basic one, so we are going to copy that. So you are going to hit copy, and you are going to paste it into the folder that says disasters. Very important, guys, okay? And let me show you once more, 1 second here. Guys, remember this brain for the acid rain? All right. So we are going to do 2 different triggers. One that actually damage the players, and the other one that actually destroy the blocks over the head. So this one is going to have 2 different triggers for the execution. Let me show you how I did to make those 2. Let me change to MiniWord. All right. So in MiniWord, you are going to see these things, okay? First, when you copy the disaster, Okay, the meteor one, as always, you are going to change the timer, okay? So where it says when a specific timer changes, when you copy that was something that I almost forgot, okay? When you copy and paste the trigger, remember to change the name to acid rain loop, okay guys? Very important, loop. Change the name for loop, because with that we are going to be sure that we are using the right one, okay? So let's ask access to defense, and you are going to change the actual one that says this meteor for the one that says this acid rain. Now, for the condition, you are going to delete one, and if I'm not wrong, the meteor says a random number less than equal to 80. You are going to delete that one, and you are going to just keep the condition that says time greater than 0. On there you are going to expand, and you are going to change the timer for the acid rain timer that is going to be disaster time acid rain, okay? That two parts are just the same. Now we need to add a new condition, guys, okay? So you are going to hit on here, you are going to go to word, and we are going to select change weather, okay? What is going to do this? This is going to change weather, and the reason why we execute this every second is because when we increase the difficulty, or the difficulty level, we are going to have probably more than one disaster at a time. That means that probably there's going to be another disaster, and it's going to try to change the weather. So we are going to be sure with this that always is going to be rainy, okay? So the first thing that you need to add, it's the rainy. Probably you're going to get it overall, or under all the other triggers or actions. You are going to just move that with a rearrange, and you are going to place that in the top, and you are going to confirm, okay? Now, very important, guys, you are going to keep it until this point like it is already. You are going to create another one, okay guys? So you are going to hit on here, add a new trigger, and you are going to add it into the disaster folders. And then you are going to rename it, and you are going to rename it like this. You can place acid rain loop number 2 or acid rain loop damage, okay? Very important, I'm just going to keep it simple, so I'm going to hit loop 2, but you can use whatever name of the 2 you want for that one, okay? Now you are going to add a couple of conditions here, okay? So don't do any event on this one, and let me explain what is going to do this. This is going to be a loop that is going to be executed for all the players. That means that the second thing that we are going to do in the trigger that you see before is that we are going to execute this for all the players. So first, you are going to check the team. Remember that we have two different teams. The team 1 that is going to be the survivors, and the team 2 that is going to be the players that already lose, or the observers. So this one is going to be only executed on their team 1 that is going to be the survivors, because we don't want the observers to get damage, okay? Because it's not going to do anything. The observers are immune to any damage. They actually don't take damage, but it's going to create effects on the sound, and we don't want that, okay? So just hit add, then select player, and then select determine player team. On there you are going to have this screen. You only need to expand this and select player in trigger event, and yes, in team on options you select team number red, or team 1 number red. Sorry, team 1 color red. Alright, so this is the tricky part on the head, and is which one is going to be the block, okay? So remember guys, we have in basic systems a specific system that we create before, that was roof block, that is going to set up the variable in the top of the player, or tell the game which one is the actual block over the head of the player, okay? So we are going to use that one, that variable. So on here, on the acid rain 2, sorry, we are going to add a new condition, guys, okay? And the condition is going to be add block and determine block type, okay guys? We are going to do that, then we are going to expand the first section, okay guys? So we are going to add here template variable, function library, player private variable, and on there you are going to get this interface, and you are going to select players in trigger event, roofs block, yes. And the second one, the one that is a little bit trickier, is the one that is going to be for the block type height by arrive. You are going to select function library. You are going to select the first one that says block type hit by array, And then you are going to see this new interface. So first one, you are going to add another function here, okay? So what we are going to do, what happens is that MiniWord actually detects two different kind of blocks. The blocks that are going to be the error block, or the blocks that are actually not going to exist, or the blocks that didn't exist yet that are going to be the null blocks, okay? So we are going to get a null block, because if we place our error block, it's not going to work, it's going to give you an error. And what is the best way to do it? In triggers, or we don't have a direct way to get a null block. In scripts, we have it, we just place it like equals to nil, and that's going to work. But in here, we don't have like that specific tool, okay? So how we are going to detect a nil block, a block that has been not created, been created yet? Well, it's very simple. You are going to provide a coordinate that is not being rendered by the game, and on there you are going to get the null block, okay? So on here, you are going to say start with a specific coordinate, okay? And this is the trick, okay? We are going to create in any position of the map, like a system that is going to detect which block is around that area, but this is not going to detect anything, so it's going to tell the game in here there is no any kind of block, and that's what we want, okay? So in the first one, you are going to select a specific coordinate location that you're going to get it here. It's the first one, the one that says in general, and under you are going to place on here any number that is away from the actual game, okay? So in my case, I placed 20, 20, and very important, the block 200, okay? With that, the system is going to detect that the block 200 is not rendered yet, and it's going to tell the game like, oh, okay, there is no kind of block, all right? So project 0, and on here, it doesn't matter, you can choose up, down, very important, guys. On here, you have to have positive numbers over 0, and this one is going to be the number that is going to be big, okay? Once you do that, you're going just to completely close this. Okay, so all right, so now we are going to add the actual action, okay? And what is going to be the action? Just to add the actual trigger, okay, guys, the actual buff. So you just hit here, then you're going to hit on plier, obtain effect, and on obtain effect, you're going to select pliers on trigger event, and you're going to select here the custom buff that we just created. Remember the one that makes damage, that is being called acid rain? We are going to use that one. Then remains is going to be false, and you are going to add it for 0.6 seconds. Okay, guys? I'm going to give you a big head ups here. Whenever you're creating a code, avoid to use like the status a lot of times, okay? So as an example, if you place an update event or a loop with that adds like this, like a status to the player every second, it's going to lag a lot, okay, guys? This is one of the things that lags the most, also to place the block. So I highly recommend it not to do it. Just place it like this one that is going to check every second or every half of the second. With that, you're not going to have that amount of lag, okay? Now, guys, we have the second condition. So we are going to switch back to the one that says acid rain loop, and you are going to add a new action, okay? The action is going to be player group, and it's going to be operate trigger on player set, okay? Very important, guys. Don't use the one that says trigger, operate trigger. No, you're going to select operate a player group, operate trigger on a player set. And let me explain what is the difference. On operate loop, in operate trigger, you are going to only execute the trigger. But for this one, you are going to execute that trigger for every one of the players. So that's going to be much easier. And as an example, if you want to do any effect for all the players at the time, you have to do this method, okay? Just to let you know. Now, of course, we are going to execute on perform. We are going to select trigger. We are going to select disasters, and we are going to select acid rain loop 2 or acid rain damage, whatever name you place to the second one that we create, the one that makes that adds the buff to the players. Then to every player in all players, okay? Of course, something that you can do better if you want to have like more overflow tool is just select pliers in team 1, but this one is going to work because the condition is checking that the plier is going to be the plier in the team 1, okay? And check the conditions as true, okay guys? Very important, the conditions need to be true. All right, now you're going to, now that you add that one, you are going to add a new one. And this is when we are going to start to create our second variable. So you need to create a variable, okay? You're going to create a variable that is going to be a plier variable. So you're going to hit here, assign, and you are going to select plier setup, okay? On plier setup, you are going to create a new variable. Remember that we already have the Beerus plier or the Pledge plier. Now we are going to create one that is being called acid plier rain or acid rain plier, okay? And what we are going to do, we are going to select that plier as a random plier in the arena. So just hit here, random pliers. That means that you are going to choose function library and you are going to select random plier in a plier set. That is going to pick up a random plier here. Sorry, I cannot see my screen. Now, yes, I can. Okay, let me see if I can increase. No, it's at the most light right now. Now, on random pliers, you are going to expand and you are going to select all the pliers in the team. And of course, you are going to select the team number 1, guys. That is the actual team that has the survivors, okay? Now, then you are going to do another couple of things, okay, guys? So we can choose like all the variables in just one action, but it's going to be too hard to read and too hard to set up because you have to do a lot of clicks, okay? So to avoid that, we are going to select 2 different things. And I think the best way to explain it's going to be with the block, okay? We are going to set the x-axis and the z-axis for a random event. So let me show you how it works, okay? I'm going to use this block, guys. And let me place a block here, okay? All right. So guys, let me explain with this one. Let me change the size a little bit. And let me increase the size, okay? So guys, MiniWord works with 3 different coordinates, the X, and the Z, and the Y, all right? So why I said first Z and X, because these are going to be together. So the Y is always the height or the altitude where you are going to place your map or your block or wherever you want. Imagine that this is a plier. So if you see, if I change the Y value, it's going to increase the height, all right? Imagine that this is the actual map, okay? If I move the X axis, it's going to move to the sides, right? To the left and to the right. And if I move the Z-axis, it's going to move in between front and forward, okay? And that's going to work for all the things. So if you see there are going to be numbers here, in the actual map, also we are going to have those numbers that are going to be the coordinates, okay? So what we are going to do? For this map, we don't need the height because the height is going to be created by the system by default, the one that we are going to create. But we are going to get the different things. We are going to get the Y the Y and the Z axis, okay? So we are going to get the actual position of the plier, but if like the height wouldn't exist, so we are going to get the position in a plane, okay? Because we are going to create a projectile over the plier. And also we are going to play with random area around that plier, okay? So that's what we are going to do. We are going to set up a variable for the X, that means for the position that actually is the X value for the plier, and the position that is going to be for the Z plier, okay? So that's like a good way to explain it. Just check that MiniWord does the same here. We have the coordinates. The first one is going to be the X, the second one is going to be the Z, and the third one is going to be the Y, that is going to be the altitude, okay guys? So we are going to play with those numbers. That's something that you can learn to make some cool effects and advanced effects. All right, so. All right, let's do the next thing. On here, you are going to add, on here, assigned setup value, okay? Once you add the setup value, you are going to have this interface. So we are going to create a new variable, okay? You are going to hit here and you are going to add a new one. All right. So when you add the new one, you are going to change the name and you are going to place the name as a random X. Okay. With that, we know that we are getting random number and we are going to set up the value as this one. Okay. So you are going to select the next thing. You are going to select function library. And in maths, you are going to have coordinate value of location. So what is going to do that? It's going to get the actual number that is going to be a random number, guys, okay? But we are going to get like the coordinates split. So we can get only the X value, only the Y value, or only the Z value on here. So we are going to do that. We are going to select just the X, okay? So you are going to add coordinate value of location. On here, you are going to get this interface. So in the first one, you are going to select function and plier location, okay? So we are only going to get the X value on here. So you are going to put X of the acid rain plier. And for the second one, you are going to do the same. You are going to create a new variable. The name of the variable is going to be random C, all right? And the coordinate value is going to be the same, the one that we just made, but instead of selecting the X value, we are going to select the C value, guys, okay? And we are going to select acid rain plier. Now that we already have all our different tools to work with, we are going to create a projectile. So remember that the meteor one already has a projectile, so just move that one to the bottom here. And we are going to change the information inside. So where it says create acid rain, you are going to, or create meteor, you are going to select on template library your acid rain projectile, the one that we just created. Now, we are going to create this in a specific location. So on here, we are going to select just one block, okay? So go here and select function library, and we are going to select a specific coordinate location, okay? On here, we are going to get three numbers, the position X, the Y, and the Z, okay? So what is the trick here? We are going to do the next thing. For this one, for the first one, we are going to select here on function library, math, and numeric calculation. So what we are going to do, we are going to take the actual plier position, and then we are going to add a random number, okay? In between 0 and in between whatever number we want, okay? So we take the random number that is going to be the position of the plier, so select here and select random X. Then you're going to select add, and then you're going to add here function library, math, and random number, okay? When you get this, we are going to do the next thing. We are going to generate any number in between, and very important here, guys, -6 to the number 6, okay? -6 to 6. That means that can create like a block or can destroy a block around that plier, okay? Also, just thinking a little bit more, use better -4 to 4, okay? So we are going to be sure that it's going to destroy something that is closer to the plier. For the second one, we are going to create a new variable, okay? And let me tell you which one is going to be that one. You can use one variable that is going to be named as a map max y, or another thing that you can do is just to place the max height of your plier. So remember, guys, that we create this area. Well, just simply take here on the map and get the altitude, okay? On here you can choose 26 as an example. That is going to be easier. With that, you don't have to create another variable, okay? So just select on here 26, or the max height that your map has. And for the second one, we are going to do just the same that we made for the first one here, but we are going to now do random Z instead of that one. So just create the same. On here, as always, you select a math, numeric, general. Oh, what was that? I completely forgot that one. Okay, yes, it's numeric calculation. So yes, you select here function library, math, numeric calculation. Then you place random Z. Add in here, you are going to add another random number. On here, choose once more -4 to the number 4. Okay, so with this also I found a bug in my map. Now it's going to be more accurate. But yeah, choose random number here. And that's it. Now we already have the acid rain. So I wanted to ask you guys, now that you know that we already finished this disaster, what is left for the game to actually show the disaster and create the disaster inside the map? Okay, I just want to see you in the comments while we take a little bit of a break. So there's something very important, guys. Remember that we always have the disasters here, but we always have to do some specific process before continuing with the next disaster. Who can tell me what is going to be the next thing that we need to do here to be able to actually play that disaster inside the game? Okay, we already have the disaster, we already have the starter, but there's some big thing that we need to do before this disaster works. Okay, just let me know, guys, into the comments. Alright, guys, so just as I know that probably this live gets to you a little bit later, most of the times like 1 or 2 minutes later, I'm going to answer that. So what we left is to add here on the basic systems, we need to add that specific disaster, that the one that we just created, to the brain. Remember that the brain, it's the one that controls everything, and each time that you add a disaster, you need to add it here. So just open your disaster controllers. Remember that we have 2 different things here. The ones that you can use with the scripts to avoid the disasters to repeat, or the normal one, okay? So if you want to add this disaster, okay, so as in the normal one, the one that works just with triggers, remember that we have here those numbers, and the last disaster was the number 4, but this time we add a new one that is the disaster number 5. So we are going to add the number here, and we are going to change to the number 5 here, okay? Of course, if you have the other one that says execute the script, that is going to be the one that doesn't repeat, you are going to hit on name it script, and on here you are going to change the last number. Remember that we have a 4 here, you are going to change it for a 5. That is going to be the new disaster. And that's it. With that, you also have your disaster, okay? Very important, guys. You already have your disaster, but now we left another thing. And remember, guys, this is going to just to tell the game which number of disaster is going to play, but this one needs to be a requirement also, and it's that you need to execute that trigger, okay? The starter one. So you are going to hit here, trigger, operate trigger, and operate trigger. You are going to have this new interface. You are going to select just the trigger, so select on trigger. Then you are going to select the one that says acid rain start. Remember, not the loops, you are going to select just the one that says start. And that's it, guys. With that, we already have our the 5 disaster right here added into the game. Okay, I'm going to delete it because I already have that disaster added. And another important thing, guys, is that if you want to test a specific disaster, as an example, I just want to test this disaster, the last one that we create. The only thing that you need to do is just change that one, the one that says this set disasters, and on here just choose or change the 5, the one for a number 5 or for the disaster. So the 2 numbers need to be the same. And with that, you will be able to test the disaster that actually you want to play. But remember, very important, if you want to keep the system again giving you random disasters, the first number needs to be the one that is going to be the first disaster that we have. So welcome, Darkstar. Welcome to the class. All right, I see that you're talking about ducks and boob on the chat. That's very fun. But yeah, guys, okay, so until this point, you have any kind of questions? I think that disaster was a little bit complicated, but not that much complicated, okay? So while we ask you for questions, well, I ask you for if you need something you need to ask me for about this, just let me know, okay? On here, I'm just placing the first code just to give you a little bit of time, okay? So, as you already have told me a lot of things about which one is your favorite fruit, a lot of things like, I don't know, like which one is your favorite movie, I want to know if you like any specific, say, like a sport, okay, guys? So, just to let you know and give you a context, in my country, the most played sport is the football one, but the soccer one, not the American football, because I know that in English football means American football. Just the soccer one is the one that you use your feet to just to play with the ball. That's the most played one. Of course, I know that you you have a lot of other sports, so just let me know your favorite sports. So Kenzie, I know that you like to know a lot of things about what are the taste of the likes of the people. So just let me know which one is your favorite sports, and also if in your country you have a specific sport that is not played in other parts of the world, just let me know, okay? While we take that number with the number that we have for this specific claim, okay? And yeah, just to show you a couple of things here. All right, so let me switch to here to mini words, and let me show you some specific sports that is only played in my country. All right, so this is something that has different like different ways of playing in Latin America, but this one is very specific in my country and it's very strange. What actually they do, it's to have this specific I don't know how to call it, and it's not a board. It's something that is on the bottom of the room, and it has some terrain in there, so some dirt. And what people does is just to launch this specific thing to the earth. And the weird thing about this is that you are going to see small triangles around. Those have made a little bit of explosion each time that get hit by that thing. So you made the points if you hit one of those, okay? So as an example, you launch that and that falls in over this small triangle. It's going to do a small explosion and it's going to give you the point. It's a very strange sport that is only being played here in Colombia. I don't know if in your country you have another weird sport. And as you see, we have like different ways to place it. Even in a fancy places, they have like in a specific tejos function, or in the most normal ones. We also have video games that are just trying to imitate that flavor. And on here we have like official competitions for that one. It's something very strange, but it's very, very fun. Oh, I see. So you are not very, very good at the sports. Truly sorry to hear that, Clem. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now for the COVID, we weren't able to do too much sports. Well, here in Colombia, people is doing it anyway. We are not like the best or responsible people, and there is a lot of people that get the COVID-19 by playing soccer, because here is I don't know. On here you have the official selection, the national one plays soccer, and all the people do like a party. Literally, the people are just it's celebrating in the streets. Let me show you. Literally, people goes to the streets, and yeah, you can see the people like this, racing like this in the streets, and just dancing and partying. So a lot of people it gets like the COVID-19 when the selection is playing. Also, our official selection, sometimes they dance every time that they make like a score or a point. I hit the ball in my face 12 times. Okay, that's very funny. Yeah, actually, I that's something that I didn't like too much about using glasses. I am just to let you know, guys. I realized that I have to use glasses a long time ago, but it's very hard for me. Most of the times, I didn't realize that I'm not using it. And for sports, of course, it's very uncomfortable because I don't know. It's false. It doesn't make you look the ball better because sometimes you have like reflection. So I really don't like to play some sports with my glasses. But yeah, I know that the ball in the head in the face is going to hurt a lot, okay? So guys, I think we have a lot of break right now. Let's move back to the class, okay? Now, in the class, we are already made our acid rain. Now we are going to make our earthquake. So first, let me do the explanation about how the earthquake is going to work. As always, we have a small brain here too that controls our earthquake, but this one is going to be much simpler, okay? But bit head ups here, on here we are going to start using scripts again. Why? Because if you notice, we are going to shake the screen of the pliers. And that's something that you cannot do with triggers. That's something that you can only do with actually scripts, okay guys? But don't worry, this is going to be a mix of the two things because I want you to learn both. And this is basically how it works. So, it's very simple, guys. As always, we have our earthquake loop that is going to execute over and over every 1 second. All right? This is going to be working until our timer is actually more than 0, right? So we are going to execute this over and over. And the first thing that we are going to do is to check if the plier is inside a house or inside a construction. And how we are going to do this. Guys, did you remember the roof block again? Remember that this dot is going to tell us if the plier is under a roof or something similar, okay? So first thing that we are going to do is first check if the block in the head of the plier is not air. Okay, in the last one, in the acid rain, we check if the actual block that is over the head of the plier was air or not the block. On this one, we are going to check the exactly opposite thing, okay? This one is going to execute if the plier is inside the house. And if the plier is inside the house, we are going to shoot some debris to the plier. So, very important guys, if you see my game, there are blocks that are failing, but actually that is a trick. That's just a normal projectile that has like the model of a block. So they look like a block, but they are not blocks, okay? So how you're going to do that, okay? How we are going to make that? Well, we are going to use the roof block for that. Then, and the second execution for this is that if the plier is in the floor, just in the block that is touching the floor, we are going to execute a push up for the plier. We are going to drop the plier, okay? And how we would do that, also I'm going to teach you how to detect if the plier is just in the floor. And the most important one, then we are going to execute our script that is going to be the camera shake to create effect that is happening like an earthquake. And that's something important, okay guys? As you see, it's not that much complicated. Of course, the execution is going to be a little bit more complicated because I have to use a script. But this is the basics about how the earthquake is going to work. So let me move back to MiniWord, or let's do this. Before starting, we are going to get our first script that is going to be the one that we are going to use for this one, okay? So guys, remember the website, the one that we use to copy our scripts, and of course, while I'm searching for that one, I see that Quill told me the other day that he were able to add more commands into the commands that the command system that I showed you a long time ago, and I'm very proud of you because that's something that I forgot to explain to the players and to the students, and you actually made it by yourself. So I'm very proud of yourself. Okay, so in JavaScript, the website that you always have on the description for this video, and also in the Discord channel, you are going to have it into the tools section. Of course, just so that you know, I submit also a couple of tools that may help you to create new maps that are just in that section. As an example, you can edit in mobile and another couple of tools, okay? So guys, also this website is in the description for this video, for any of my videos, and also I just place it into the chat, okay? But very important guys, you on here need to search, just scroll down a little bit, and you have to search for the one that says disaster. As you see here, we already have some disasters. So you are going to copy the one that says disaster earthquake, okay? Once more guys, as always, probably you're on here. Oh, okay, you are not seeing my screen, so let me be sure that now you will be able to see my screen. All right, yes, guys. So as always, just open the website that I put into the chat or into the description of the video, and just in the same page that we copy all our different scripts, you're going to search for the one that says disaster earthquake, okay? As always, guys, when you open that one, be sure that actually is not giving a translation to other languages, okay? Because probably, as I don't know, let's do this. Of course, it's extreme example, but probably you're going to get in another language like this, and as you see, the code is going to change. So that's not the best way that we like it. We need to be sure that actually our web browser is not changing the language. So on here, on the top, on the search bar, most of the times, even in Chrome or any web browser, you have the tool to avoid this to happen. So just be sure that you're showing the original one and copy all of the script, okay? From the top to the bottom, be sure that you are copying everything, guys. Okay, be sure that even the two different guidance here, the two different dashes or slash, I don't remember the name of this symbol right now, but yeah, be sure that you copy everything. Just copy here, okay? And then you're going to go to MiniWord again. You're going to go to scripts. You are going to use just the same folder that we used before. Remember that we already have our survival system here. And we are going to add a new script. You are going to delete everything inside the script. You can do it by yourself just by hitting here this icon that is going to be the trash icon. And just paste the script here. As always, guys, I let you the setup or the configuration here. But I'm going to show you in a little bit better screen or a little bit bigger screen, because I know that sometimes that is going to be too small for you. So what you are going to do here is just to copy and paste it. And if you scroll up to the top, you are going to see the description about what this system does. Also here you have a specific thing, and it's this one and the actual function that we are going to execute in the triggers. So I'm going to teach you that later, but the most important thing here, guys, is that here you have a setup area. As always, I place the setup here, and under the setup, I place the things that you have to modify. And after that, I place something like this that says, please don't modify anything here under this because your system is not going to work. So as always, guys, on here, on the setup section, we have we have 4 different things, but the important one, because this one is going to work fine, don't change this. But if you want to do it, but please, this is like the most accurate way that I'm fine to do it. Just in case, keep it like it is. But we are going to change those 2, okay? So, as always, after the script, I place 2 different scores, 1 and 2. And after that, I place a description in English and in Spanish, okay? So the first one is going to be the name of your timer. Okay, we are going to set up later that, but remember, we are going to take this name just like it is, okay? So this needs to be synchronized with your trigger, okay? So when we create the disaster timer for this one, you need to place the exact name here, okay? With upper cases, with lower cases, or if you want to do it easier, just copy the name here, okay? So later you will be able to copy and paste it into MiniWord. Very important, guys, as always, remember that this needs to be in between those 2 notation marks, okay? Then you are going to see here that it has an earthquake missile, okay? This is going to be the debris or the things that falls from the roof. And here you can change the reduction or the shake for the horizontal way. So that means that it's going to be like this when the camera starts shaking. And the second one is the same, but going from the bottom from the top, okay? So if you place a 0 on any of this, it's going to keep it doing it, and it's not going to never stop. And if you place a 100 on there or a 1, it's not going to move in that way. So that means if I place on here, on the one that says earthquake Y, it's not, I place a 1, it's not going to shake the camera from top to the bottom, okay? Just to explain you that couple of things, okay? For now, we are going to just save it here, okay? Because we don't have created any of those yet. Remember to change the name, and you're going to name it as an earthquake, okay? Earthquake, okay? That's very important. I'm not going to change the name right now because I already have it on here. Now, once we do this, we are going to do the next thing. We are going to go to our the normal plugin editor, and we are going to create a new projectile. But first, before doing that, let me show you how I create the projectile, okay? So I'm going to change the map for that. What I actually made, or let me use whatever map. Let's use this one, okay? For those that are trying to download this map, don't worry, this map has nothing important. I know it needs a password, but it's just some test that I was doing. But this map actually doesn't have any important thing. It's just some place that I used to do my experiments, so don't worry for that. You are not going to have like a playable game here. All right, so what you have to do is just do the next thing, okay? On here, no, I use the one that is not the right one. I should use this one, okay? Mirrored, what is happening to you? Okay, come on, you can work, okay? Yeah, okay, so what I did actually in this one just was like, I placed this block here, the normal miniature block, I fill it. As an example, if you want that if your roof or whatever you have in the roof is more like a dirt, you are going to just fill with this with dirt. But in my case, okay, the one that they use is the rock, okay? But I use this one instead of using the normal rock in my game, and most of the roofs are going to be with this one that is going to be the polished stone brick. And you fill a block with this, then you're going to create the miniature, right? Very important, you're going to change this block, you're going to destroy it, and you're going to use the other one, the one that you used to make weapons, okay? As you see, it's going to have a much less size. And then you're going to create on here the name, you're going to place an earthquake block or wherever you want to play it. And very important, guys, on here you're going to select projectile and you're going to make a block. So what it's going to do this actually, just let me show you. This is just going to be something like that looks like a block, all right, but actually it's not a block, it's just a projectile. So it looks or make the player see that it's like an effect that actually something is filing from the top, but it's not going to do anything, okay, guys? So be sure always that this is going to be for one size, that it's going to be the size of one block. So just add it here, open that system or that block, and probably you are going to have it like this. What you have to do is just increase the height a little bit, put it over the floor, and then just save it again. And with that, you have already your model for your projectile. Okay. Once you have it, what you're going to do is just to place it into your map. Remember, first import it into your miniatures here, because if you don't do it, probably it's going to work in your end, but when you play multiplayer, it's going to have a lot of errors, it's going to have another color or a lot of big issues, okay? So as you see, I have it here, I name it as a wood, all right? And once you have it inside your map, you're going to create your projectile. So just go to props. You're going to add a new projectile, guys, okay? On here, you're going to hit new, create, and once more create, you're going to select ammo projectile, okay, guys? Once you create ammo or projectile, you're going to place the model that we just created here. You are going to change the name, of course, but most important things are going to be the attributes, guys, okay? So first one, projectile attack is going to be 12, or whatever number you want to make as damage for the player when the debris falls over the head of the player. You're going to select single shot, okay? And then you are going to select gravity as 10 as the max amount. Initial speed, you can select whatever you want. I highly advise you to get it in 160, but that's not going to affect that much. Hit target needs to be creatures and block. And all the other things needs to be off. Now for the skills, this is going to be very simple. You are going to add a new skill. You are going to select the first one that is going operating blocks. You are going to hit place. You are going to select the block that you use the most. Okay, so in my case, most of the constructions are going to have a block in the top that is going to be the rock one. So you just select that one, the whatever you have on there, and on target, select single target. Okay, so what is going to do this block? It's just going to fall, and if it hits the floor, it's going to create a block, or if it hits the player, it's going to do damage. And with the system, we also are going to delete the block that was actually where it was located, the old block. Okay, that's all the things that's going to do this. It's not going to do that much. It's not too much complicated. Remember to restart your map. Okay, remember it as always. Just restart your map to be sure that the projectile is going to be added. And then we are going to start creating our trigger. Okay, guys. So as always, just copy the meteor start. Okay. And paste it into the starter section. Okay, of course I'm not going to paste it into the starter because I already have it, but just to show you as an example. And as always, you are going to change the information here. So the disaster needs to be the next one. So remember, we have already one that is going to be the meteor, the number 2 that is going to be the volcano, if I'm not wrong, the number 3 that is going to be the fire, the number 4 that is going to be the pledge, and the number 5 that is... And change the information, guys. Okay, remember we need to change all the information as always with the starters. Okay, so let me show you the setup that I made here directly. Okay, so all right, on here I have an issue, and it's actually in the right. So remember, on here goes a 6 for the disaster number 6. On operate, we need to create a new one. And remember, guys, this is a very, 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 very important thing. Okay, so... Okay, let's see that is a little bit of lag. Okay, so let me take a little bit of time here. All right, so let me do a time until the video it's going to be a little bit better because I see that there is a lot of lag. Okay, just a second, guys. Now you will be able to see me better, or are we still lag? Okay, good. It seems that it gets fixed. Now you will be able to see my screen. All right. So first we are going to select a disaster here, guys. Remember here, as always, we are just making the same thing. Disaster number equals 6 on disaster earthquake, guys. On here you can see here that we have the disaster name. Okay, guys, so very important and very big head ups here. As always, you are going to create the timer here, right? The variable for this one. But very important, guys, remember this. Remember this small friend of us that is the actual script. So right here, as you see, there is telling the earthquake trigger name, and that's what we need to do. We need to have the same name here that the name of this variable. Okay, it needs to match exactly. Of course, I don't advise you to get any space on this, and just when you create this one, do it without any spaces, so you are not going to have an error. Okay, guys, so what I did is just copy here, and when I create a variable, I just hit here and I just paste it into here. Okay, and be sure that if you get something like this, you're going to delete it. Okay, be sure that it's not going to copy that specific part, or just type it manually. Okay, as you see, something that needs to match is right here, this one that is going to be the upper cases, the lower cases. You don't use any space, or don't use / or underscore here. Just keep it completely like you see on the screen. Okay, we know the spaces with anything, and just put that name here. Okay, now once you have that one, you're going to select this one, and as always, you are going to keep this action, the remaining parts, just like they are. You are going to change here. Of course, I see that I have a mistake here. It's earth, quake, okay. You are going to change the name. You are going to change the description, and for the description I use do not fall from the island, avoid being hit by debris, okay? You can choose whatever description you want. Then the disaster name and all the other things are just like it is, okay? Just as always, the starter is going to be the easiest one. It's just copy and paste and change the information, okay? Now we are going to start to creating the other things. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah, when YouTube has like the specific I don't know how to call it, like the rule. No, yeah, I remember it was just this part that has a lot of dots that are just spinning around, and when you have a lot of lag, what you used to do is just to move with the keys, and actually that specific arrow with a lot of dots was coming like into a shake, and you start to play snake, sorry, into the screen, and you will be able to play that whole game. Of course, actually Google is still having that specific game, but not anymore in YouTube. That actually was a cool feature. I remember that. Welcome Hassad, it's me, welcome to the class. So guys, now, very important, what you are going to do is that actually you are going to add a new disaster, as always, guys, okay? So, as always, we are going to do the easy thing, and it's just copy the meteor again. You are going to paste it here in disasters, and first thing, as always, you are going to change the name, and you are going to place earthquake loop, okay? Guys, remember, all the different scripts or triggers that are going to be here in disasters are going to be disaster loops, okay? So earthquake loop is the one that you're going to select right now. And once you select earthquake loop, you are going to start changing the information once more. So select event. In event, you are going to choose the one that says when the disaster earthquake changes. Okay, once more guys, select here variable library, and then you are going to select disaster earthquake, okay? The condition is going to be timer time, disaster earthquake, sorry, it is going to be equals to 0. And now you are going to delete all the actions that you have for the meteor, okay guys? Remember, delete all the actions. Once you delete it, you are going to add two different things. First, you are going to execute a script, okay? So guys, hit add a new one, add a new action, guys, and you are going to select here where it says script, execute the script. And when you select that, you are going to see on a screen like this. You are going to hit on name the script. And the only thing that you are going to do is just copy and paste this, okay guys, where it says earthquake number 3. And that's it guys. Let me show you here. Okay, on here you're going to have this one, but you are not going to do that. You are going to use here number 3, okay? Very important guys. Earthquake number 2, just let me do a double check to be sure. Yes. Okay, yes guys, it's earthquake number 3. So remember, I'm going to copy this and you are going to see it in a big screen. Of course, I'm also going to paste it here. Okay guys, let me show you in a new screen. What you have to type there, just like you seen in the screen, is this one, Jeju earthquake number 3. Remember, if you don't get it, in the top, and let me correct that because, well, to call this function, it says earthquake 1, of course, just copy and paste that, but remember to change the number 1 for the number 3. And let me do something, okay? Because I don't want it to have that error, so I'm going to edit very quickly here, and I'm going to change it here for the number 3, okay? Alright guys, so let me copy and paste to be sure that it's going to be the same. But yeah, if you import this script, just re-import it and get the number here, okay? I just do that changes because I don't want you to make that much effort, just having that already solved, okay? Alright, it's already changed, just copy and paste that part. You're going to place it here, and that's it. You're going to save it, and close. That is going to execute the actual trigger, the one that does the camera and all those things. Now, what we are going to do for the next part, okay? So on here, you are going to create a new trigger. The trigger is going to be earthquake loop, or you can rename it as a loop outer or loop 2 outer, just to give an explanation about what the system does. But remember that it's going to be a new trigger, okay? When you have that trigger, what you're going to do is that you're not going to do any event, more important, and then you are going to check a block, okay guys? So remember, just as always, we are going to check a different thing. This time we are not going to get if the block is an error block, we are going to check if the block is a solid block. So you are going to go here and block and determine block type, okay? When, sorry, it's not going to be that one, it's going to be block, determine block in a specific location, okay guys? When you have that one, you're going to have these different options. So what we are going to do with this one is that we are going to check if the player is on the floor, okay guys? So remember, always, if you want to know if your player is just touching a block in the floor, you can use this condition, okay? This is going to be very important. Imagine that you are doing, I don't know, like a toxic floor, and that if the player hits that block, it's going to get infected or damaged. Use this specific condition, okay? So what you are going to do is that first, here in functions, you are going to select location offset, okay? Offset is going to move. It's going to select a specific location, and you can tell the system to check one block out, below that, or whatever you want to do, okay? So in here, you're going to select location offset, original location change, then you are going to have this interface. So when it says the location, you are going to select function, player location, and in the player location, you are going to choose player in triggers event. Now you're going to see these three different numbers. So it says shift along coordinate axis. The first one is going to be the X axis. The last one is going to be the Z axis, and the medium one is going to be the health. So if you place a number on there, it's going to increase or decrease the health. So if the player is in the block number 0, we need to check the block that is under the player, that is going to be the block -1. Or if we want to check the top of the player, we are going to place block 1. And as an example, if I place the number 10, it's going to be 10 blocks over the player. Or if I place the block -10, it's going to be 10 blocks below the player size, okay? Very important, guys. On here, select the number -0.2. Why? Because if you place -1, it's going to check when the player even is just jumping, it's going to detect probably the block that is under the player. So just select this one. This is very close to the floor. And with that, we are going to avoid a lot of mistakes. And then another important thing here, on here, you are going to place no, and is air block, okay guys? Keep it like it is, air block. So we are going to tell the system that the block that is under the player is not an air block, okay? All right, so let me see here. Oh, truly sorry. Okay, I know that there are a lot of students that are from other regions, and yeah, the problem is that I don't have the best English. Actually, I have like good English, but not the best. But the problem is I hate will hate pronunciation. Okay, it's okay. I know that I didn't pronounce very well a lot of words, but it's okay. The important thing is that you can understand at least what I say, but I know also that there is a language barrier, that some of you weren't able to understand me because probably you don't speak English, or you only speak your original language, so that's a little bit difficult. I won't be able to help you that much on there because I only know how to speak Spanish, and I only know how to sort in other languages in English. That's there, guys, okay? All right, very, very, very important, guys. Now, on here, we are going to continue, okay guys? So First action, we are going to select add new one, a new action, okay? And in the action, we are going to select move player towards. On here, you can find that one here. Oh, let me search for that one. Okay, I know it's around this area. Oh, okay, it's here. You are going to select make player move or make the player move towards this direction. And under, you're going to have this new interface. So you're going to select make players in trigger event move towards facing 3-axis coordinates. Okay, guys? Okay, and this is very important, okay? Most of the times we tell the game to just push the player up and upwards, and that's it, okay? But for this system, we are going to do a kind of knockback, okay, guys? So for those that didn't know what is a knockback, it's actually this effect that the player is shifting around some area, like he's pushing out, or it's when you hit something very fast, like in anime, and the actors start to flying very fast to other sides, okay? Why we don't want to just shift the coordinate along the altitude, okay? The problem is that the player is going to fall in the same place, and we don't want that. We want the tremor or the earthquake to just move the players into different directions, okay? So for this, we are going to do the next thing. In move towards, we are going to select function library, and we are going to use this one, okay? That says facing 3-axis coordinates. And that's going to allow us to check the X, the Y, and Z coordinates, okay? So on here, select object that performs the action in is facing, okay? On here, on the X one, you're going to choose the next one. You are going to, once more, select function, mat, random number, and you are going to choose a number -1 or 1. That's going to shift at the initial point in one block, okay? Random block, it could be -1 or 1, so with that we are going to be sure that it's going to push a player. On here, just keep it like the force. On here, I keep it like 0.7, but you keep whatever number you want. It's for you. I highly advise you not to use numbers over this one because it's going to just push the players too far away, but just in the altitude, and they are going to probably look like they are flying, okay? And for the last one, just do the same, add another random number, so function library, mat, random number, and choose the number in between -1 and the number 1. Okay, guys? And then we are going to place a sound for all the players, guys. Remember, just add the sound effect for all the players or for random player. You can choose the player in the event and you can use the sound. Okay, you're going to probably not to hear it, or so I'm going to stop the music 1 second. You can hear this. All right. All right, so you hear that, right? So that means that we are going to just reproduce that sound. It's going to footstep 15. That's going to be the one. And you can choose whatever number you want it. If you want to give like a little bit of variation to this sound, but it's okay, okay? So you are going to execute the script, and then we are going to execute another script, okay, guys? So how you are going to do this? You are going to hit here, and on here we are going to change this, okay? So in the system, you are going to have once more on here a different scripts, guys, okay? So in this one, you are going to hit Jeju earthquake number 1, okay? So remember, we used first the earthquake number 3. Well, this time we are going to copy the one that says earthquake number 1. And let me explain what is going to do. The earthquake number 1 is going to actually make like this variable works like shake the camera actually, okay? So in here you're going to place earthquake number 1. That's the one that is going to execute the camera, okay? And you are going to close it, all right? And that's it. With this, we already have our earthquake created. Once more, as always, guys, as always, we finish a process. We need to set up the script, okay? So how you are going to set up the script, okay, guys? Now that you have all your things created, you are going to move back to your script. And on the first number, you are going to place just the projectile that we create. Remember the projectile, so just hit here, an item, custom, and you're going to select the one that we create, that was the earthquake one, okay? That's much it. You don't have to do like a lot of hard things here. Of course, remember, this is important. The variable here needs to be exactly the same and that you have on here, okay? So remember, it needs to have the same name, same uppercase, same pronunciation, or well, there is no pronunciation for this, but it needs to be the same, it needs to be written like the same, okay? Now, you already have this one, you are going to just save it, and once you have it saved, you just are going to go here once more, and you are going to add this to our main brain, to the system controller that controls all the disasters. So once more, to do that, just change the numbers. If you have using this specific method that is going to be the trigger one, just increase the number in 1. And then if you are using the other one that is going to be the script one, just increase the last number in 1, 2, okay? And that's it. With that, your system, your earthquake is already added into the system. Now, let's do the next thing, and is that I'm going to give you the other code, okay? So please go ahead. You're seeing this code in my screen right now, I think. Just let me be sure. Yes, now you're seeing the code. So please go ahead and copy this code. This is going to be the skin cards for this class, and go ahead and copy it. As we don't have that much time, I'm going to start with the other disaster, okay? Because we don't left that much time, we left only 20 minutes, and that's why I need to hurry up a little bit, so we will be able to finish the 3 different disasters very quickly, okay? So while you copy that, also remember that this is just in the chat. I just paste it on there. Let me go here. Let me switch to MiniWord back, okay? So now we are going to do a new disaster, guys, okay? The new disaster, we already created the earthquake. We already create we have already 6 disasters, but we create the earthquake, and the other one that was the first one that we create was the acid rain, okay? Now we are going to create the thunder or the thunderstorm, okay? But it's going to be just the thunder. The thunderstorm is going to work by itself. So for this one, as this one is going to be very similar to the acid rain, just copy the acid rain starter, just hit copy, and you're going to paste it here in starters, okay? Then you, as soon as you copy it, you're going to start changing the information. So Thunderstorm is going to be the number 7, okay, guys, for the actual disaster controller. So disaster needs to be equal to 7. Once more on here, you're going to change the names of the variables. So you are going just to hit here at a new variable, and you are going to put Thunderstorm, or Storm is going to be enough. It's going to be okay. Then you're going to set up the disaster name as a Thunderstorm. You are going to change the information, okay? And very important, guys, you are going to change all the information. Remember the name you are going to set up as a Thunderstorm. Then on this part, you are going to have a part that says, be careful with thunders, okay? That's the description and disaster name, and everything else is going to be the same. Once more, remember to change the name for this trigger, rename it as a Thunderstorm or just a Storm start, okay? And remember that it's going to be in a started folder. Now, on here, you are going to add into disasters a new one, okay? And this is very important, guys. This is very simple. So you can go ahead and copy the meteor one, okay? We are going to use almost the same information, or you can also copy the rain loop or the first one. It's going to work fine. Whatever of the two, let me do. Yeah, let's copy first, or better, the acid rain loop, because it's very similar, okay? So just hit and copy the acid rain loop, paste it into disasters, guys. Remember, disasters handles there the actual disaster. And in the one that you just created, you're going to change the name for Thunderstorm loop, okay? First thing first, we are going to change the event, and we are going to change the event for disaster Thunderstorm or Storm, okay? The one that we create before. When Thunderstorm changes, then the condition, we are going to expand the timer time, and we are going to select on here once more. And once again, the one that says Thunderstorm, okay? It's greater than 0. Then on here, we are going to start changing some information. So remember that the first event that we have for acid rain was to change the weather for rain. We are going to do the same one because it's just the same. Okay, guys, for the thunderstorm, as it's a storm, we need to look the sky to make the sky looks like it were like a thunder, so like a storm. So we need the raining weather under, okay? But the more important ones, guys, we on acid rain, we have like the acid rain player here. We are going to do the same, but instead the acid rain, we are going to select thunder player, okay? So we are going to create a new variable, just hit on there and change the one that says acid rain. You're going to create a new one that says thunder player, okay? Thunder player is going to give us also a random player, so just keep it like it is from the team one. Now for the random position, we are going to select random X. Of course, we are going just to copy, but this time, as you see, it's much simpler. It's just copy and paste, and it's already set up like that. If I'm not wrong, yes, it has the same setup. So just as when you copy that specific one, the acid rain is going to have already these variables. And the last one, the one that says create on here a thunder, well, you need to change that information. So you are going to select template library when it says acid rain, and you are going to create or select a new one, okay? So let me explain how it's going to work this one. For this one, for this specific projectile, what you are going to do is to create a new prop. Once more, you select add the new, create. Again, you select the plus symbol, and you are going to select an ammo and ammunition. You're going to add it into your game. Just hit, remember, check mark and then add. Then you restart your game or your map. And once it's completely restart, you are going to start editing, okay? So the name for it is going to be Thunder. The description is going to be wherever you want to place. And here actually place a description, but it doesn't matter. But the most important thing, guys, remember the empty model that we used before, that was the invisible model. We are going to use the same one, okay, as a model. Now for attributes, we are going to do the next settings. Throwable doesn't matter. Charging also doesn't matter, but the most important one is here. Projectile attribute, the damage needs to be a specific damage. You can select 1 or whatever number you want here. On here, you are going to select single shot. The gravity needs to be high. We are going to use 10, okay? And the speed needs to be 30, okay? Why 30, guys? This is very important. We need that speed because we need to give the effect or give enough time to the projectile to start splitting and create like the thunder effect. So that's why we need a very slow speed here, okay? And velocity attenuation here. Remember, guys, here is the first time that we are going to change this. It needs to be in the half, 0.5, okay, guys? Why? Because our system is going to increase the speed of this. So we are going to be sure that it's going to fall very slow to give that effect like it were like a thunder, okay? Hit target, creatures, and block. Everything else, it needs to be off. And for skills, guys, you can use whatever skill you want it. I actually changed this, and I want to give like an extra effect. If you want just to do it with damage, it's okay. But I add a new one that was create a new buff for the projectile. I select deity or yes, that is the one that actually inverts the direction in which your keys are moving, and I select the number 3. Okay. Now everything else is going to be much simpler. Just the other first section, keep it like it is. Just give it like 3 seconds of complete amount of duration. But more important here, on target, you need to select unlimited, and in range, I place an area of 3 of 3, 3. That means that if it hits a player, it's going to also damage and hit the other players. And the second effect that I add is to attack, that is going to create some damage, and the damage is going to be an area of 3. Okay, what happened here? It changes, yeah. It's going to be 50 of damage, it's going to knock back the players 3 blocks, it's going to blow up 1 block, and the target is unlimited, and the area is 3 of 3. Why not using actual the damage that you can see here? And yes, I use this one instead of that one, because this is going to create an area of damage if it hits a player. That's why. That's the only reason, actually. And most important, guys, if you want to give a sound to it, you are going to go here in partial trigger. Partial trigger, you are going to add a new trigger, and the trigger is going to have the next actions, okay? So event is going to be when actually is hitting a target, okay? What you are going to do is to add a sound. So you hit here and create sound, okay? And on the event position, I create the sound. Okay, guys, so remember that sound is going to be behavior 47. That's the sound actually that I'm using here, okay? But you can use whatever sound you wanted to use. The volume is 40, it's not very loud because this is going to repeat a lot, so I highly advise you to reduce a little bit. And that's it, guys. Now, you are going to save or return. Remember, every time that you create something new, hit save or return. That's going to restart your map. And now you are going to continue in the trigger that we were creating, okay? So hit again disaster. Remember the one that we just were creating, select that one, okay? And we are going to put if the projectile that we were generating is just the thunder that we just create, okay? Now for the design it, you are going to select again, the acid rain already have it, so you are going to keep it like it is. But very important, guys, on here, you are going to select any number in between -2 to the number 2, okay? That's going to create the projectile very close to the player. And also for the other axis, the other 2, the C value, you are going to use -2 to 2, okay? So remember, guys, you are going to keep it like it is, expand everything, but where it says random number in between -2 and 2. Now, in launch towards, it's going to be again just the position of the player, so it's going to be okay. This is the part how it works. As you see, it's very similar to the acid rain, but the actual thing, the actual tricky part is going to be again once more the script, okay? Because for this one, the only way that you can create the thunder effect is going to be with the script, okay? Right now, just to let you know, if you don't move the script, is going to work, is going to make the thunders, but the thunders are going to fall a string, just like boom, and that's it. But if you add the script, you are going to have this effect, like the thunder is just splitting and creating and hitting some areas, and it's not that much complicated, okay? So let me open here, guys. Once more, you have this website. This time you are going to go again to Jeju scripts, but you are going to select the other one. On here we have already the earthquake, the tornado, and the thunder, so you are going to select the one that says disaster thunder. Once more, be sure as always that this is not being translated to another language. And on there you are going to copy this, or the wall script. You need to copy the wall script, just hit on copy. Okay. And now you are going to go to MiniWord, then once more in the same folder that you paste the survival system and the earthquake. You are going to add a new script, delete all the information inside, and paste this new script, okay? Be sure that you don't have any error. You are going to see a red X if you have an error. And let me use again this software to show you what actually the system is going to do. Because with this, once more, I can do a zoom up, okay? All right, a zoom in, sorry. So on here, you can see the information. And on here, you actually can see the setup here. As always, guys, I'm going to keep always doing this system at the beginning. After the description, you can find the setup. As you see, this one doesn't have like too much complicated setups. It only has two. The first one is the bullet ID for the projectile. As always, you need to get the item ID. And the second one is the HALT. The HALT in actually where is going to be located your projectile. All right, guys, so let me explain why we have a HALT. What happens is that your thunder is going to split over and over, okay? So probably on here there is not going to be any problem because it's going to hit the floor. But if your projectile falls from this area, it's going to still splitting, and each one of the projectiles can split also, so that's probably going to create a lot of lag. Okay, so something that I made to reduce that is actually detecting the health of the map. So what I did is just to choose the lower part of my map, and that's the health that I put on there. So I have fort here, okay, on here on my system. I just can place a fort here, and what it's going to do is going to avoid to split the thunder if we get under that health, of if the the projectile goes under that health. Okay, so just hit under the number of your health on here, just place the projectile ID, the missile ID. So let me show you on here once more. You are going to just delete the first number, the number that we have on here. And once you delete it, you are going to choose ID library, item, then you are going to go to custom, and you are going to search for the one that you have for the thunder, that is going to be this one. And once you place it on there, you already have most of the setups completed, okay? Another important thing, guys, is that probably in cell phones, you won't be able to have this information. Remember that I also submit in the same website, in the same script section, okay, on here, and let me also place this one here so you will be able to have the direct link. Also remember, as always, this is already in the description of the video or any video. In JavaScript, you are going to go here, and there is one that says get item ID. Just copy and paste that into your map, and if you copy and paste this into your map, as an example right here, I'm going to copy and paste it just to show you the example. And this is activated when you are in single player mode or whatever player mode that you are. You are going to get into the chat here the item or the number that you need or you have for that item, okay? So as you see, we have like different numbers here, and very important, guys. Also, if you notice here, with that you can get any ID. Also the ID for the new items, like the one that comes in the beta. That's another trick that you can use, okay? But yeah, that's it. With that, with those two setups, and after saving, you are going to already have set up the thunder. So what you are going to do now, as always, we need to add that system to our brain, guys. So once more, you are going to go to disaster controllers. You are going to increase the amount of numbers. So remember, sorry, this one is not the right one. So remember, on here we always have like the number. So as an example, on here we already have the number 6. We are going to switch it to the number 7 because we already have 7 disasters. On here, if you are using the script version of this one, just change the number once more, the last one also, delete it, and place the next number that is going to be 7. And once more, important things, you need to execute the starter here, so just add here. Once more, you are going to select trigger, operate trigger, and on operate trigger, you are going to select Thunderstorm or Storm and check conditions true. And with that, we already have also this specific one added to our system. All right, guys, so with this specific point, we already end the class, guys. Very clear with this. We already finished the class. We already have 7 disasters and the system controllers, okay? Big things that left for us is actually create the last 2 disasters. Of course, your map is already will be able to be playable. But for the other disasters, we are going to learn how to create a tornado, and depending of the day, we are going to learn or the blizzard or the non-gravity that you mentioned before. So Another important thing, guys, is that you need to start creating the different power-ups that you are going to have for this, okay? So let me show you very quickly here which power-ups I made, okay? So you will be able to use the same or use whatever you want it. That's on you. Actually, I'm not going to teach you how to do those power-ups because they are simple power-ups like potions, things that you already know how to create. So my first power-up is just something that allows you to jump higher. You know that we have a buff for that. The second one is one that provides you the bubble buff, so you will be able to fly. The other one is the item of the life. We already have that created and our setup. We have another one that cleans all the buff. This is going to be just the milk. Remember, change the icon for the milk and that's it. And another one that increases the speed. And of course we have, or I have also some potions. For the potions it's very simple, guys. Just add a buff that heal the player. Remember that we have that option in plugins and in the skills for the plugins. And the only thing that left for the other class is going to be to create the system to increase the difficulty or to increase the disasters, apart from the other one. So we almost finished with this one. It's a good news. As you see, this map is not that much complicated. I think due to the technical specifications, the tower defense one was a little bit more complicated because it has a lot of limitations. But for this one, as you see, it's much simpler to create, okay? Now, guys, I'm going to start to do some questions and answers. So I'm going to give you the last code. Let me switch to the presentation. Okay, and also I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to paste it for you into the comments. So guys, until the moment, I think you have some questions, so I just want to know which questions did you have. So I will be able to answer all of them and I will be able to help you out with them, okay? I also see that Kenzie was asking me for a specific favor and it was asking me for a specific trigger, but it didn't remember which trigger you want me to make. So please let me know, Kenzie, into the comments which trigger you want me to explain how it works, that you were mentioned before into the Discord channel or into the Discord chat. Okay, guys? So, let me see. I don't remember exactly which one was it. Let me here. One moment. Yes, please let me know which one is it, so I will be able to help you out with that one. Okay, and just for let you know, guys, once more, the class already finished. Until this point, we already finished with the class, but I just want to provide you a little bit more of help. Oh, I see. How I did create the boss tower thing, okay? So let me show you here. Okay, boss tower. Okay, I have to download it. Once more, I delete by mistake all my maps. So boss tower also gets completely deleted. So I'm going to save it, okay? So I have a script for it. That's actually what I made, okay? That's actually how it works, because for scripts it's going to be easier for me. I'm very at scripts and triggers. And what I did actually, let me show you. Let me see if I can paste or copy direct this script for you. Okay, let me see here. Score. All right. Let me see. I think I can provide you this one. All right. Okay, so Kenzie, there is a big problem here, and it's that right now in the version that we have for triggers, we don't have like the way to show some specific text in the screen, okay? That's the big problem. So let me see how we can resolve this for you. Source get, gameplay. All right. So let me show you how I did the timer. I'm going to do it just with normal scripts, okay? Well, normal triggers. So let me move here. I'm going to use let me use Jejo Labs. That actually is the one that I use for experiment here. Okay. So guys, what you have to do is the next thing. First, you are going to create a variable, okay? It's going to be called time, okay? Oh, okay, of course, it's not going to be location, so you're going to select a timer and you are going to select full time, okay? Oh, sorry, you weren't able to see my screen. Sorry for that. Now you will be able to see my screen, okay? So you're going to create a new variable, that's it. The variable is going to be called full time. Okay, so Cleo, as always, thank you so much for assisting the class, and I hope you have an excellent day. And for all the guys that want to leave, you can leave now. That's okay. I'm just showing like some extra things that you can do, okay? So what we are going to do right now is a system that checks the time that you have actually played the game, and then it's going to tell you the time when you finish the game. So the first one, it's going to be called timer in or timer on. Timer on, okay? And what you're going to do, it's that you're going to go to events, okay? In event, you are going to select here when game is created, and then in actions, you're going to add a new one, and you're going to select timer, run timer, okay? Most of the times for most of the games we use countdown timer, you are going to use just run timer, okay? Then here where it says perform timer, you are going to select the variable that we just created, full time, okay? And that's it. That's the first one. Now, the last one is going to be when you finish the game. As an example, you kill the boss, right? So you select here an event creature, and you're going to select defeated. Then in actions, you're going to select creature again, and then you're going to select determine creature type. On creature type, you're going to select the actual creature that you actually want to run this trigger. So as an example, for this one, I'm going to select like a boss, okay? But remember that this is going to be the last boss, the boss that finishes your game, okay? On here, you can use whatever you want. You can do a cut to send whenever the boss is dying and you wait a little bit of time, but after some time you are going to execute this. First one, you are going to, as soon as the boss dies, you're going to stop or pause here the timer, okay? Just pause it. Select here variable library full time, okay? And then you need to actually create the variable, okay? So on here you're going to select display information in location, okay? So you are going to create a text box. In text box you are going to put the next things. You are going to put function library, string concatenation. In the first one you place time. Okay, then you're going to place an space, and in function library you are going to select here convert value to string. That's very important. Function library, and you are going to select timer time, and you are going to select full time, okay? The font size, you are going to keep it like it is. Try to keep everything like it is, and then just close it, okay? And yeah, we are going to show you the example right now. Let's do this. I'm going to place a creature here, and I'm going to set up for that creature because I think the boss is going to be very hard to defeat. So I'm going to show you with a chicken, okay? So when the chicken dies, it's when we are going to execute this. So we need to change a couple of things here, okay? Instead of being the Colossus, just for the example, but you are going to use the actual boss, you can see. You're going to place it on here, and let me run the game. Okay, let's use this one. Of course. Oh. I cannot. Okay, as you see here, I have the time on there, right? Now you have to do the same, but you are going to choose the specific location for the time, and that's it. As you see, it's just counting the time that I get until I finish the game. That resolves your question, Kinsey? I don't know if that resolves your question, Kenzie. Just let me know into the comments if that resolves your question. Let me know if that resolves your question, Kenzie. Alright, so yeah, let's let me play your map. Which one is it? Is again the one that we played the last time? Madness C. Alright. And yeah, guys, also if you have some questions, just let me know. On your gallery. Okay, sorry, give me your UID please, Kenzie. Don't worry, I'm going to... Oh, actually, I have your UID here. That was very lucky. Actually. Oh, I see. Alright, Kenzie, so as you are going to lift, I see that we're not going to play this because I want to give you the actual feedback when you are on the screen. But yeah, guys, I highly recommend you to go to the Kenzie maps, or actually they are very good. Alright guys, so that will be it for it. And right now we already finished the class. So as always, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, just remember it, in the Discord channel you will be able to get more help. So as always, I invite you to go there. Thank you so much for assisting, guys, and yeah, I hope you have an excellent day wherever you are right now. I know that there are a lot of you from different regions, and that's it. Goodbye, and thank you so much for coming.